couple of reflections. I usually reflect on my teddy. Teddy's actually in my bag, but I won't bring it out. There's not really much on my mind. This place got my creative boxes thinking, and I was thinking, what if you got a camera up top and you could look down at me looking up this way talking? I think it'd be pretty cool. Maybe the Guinness guys will call me back and ask me to shoot a promo video for them, which would be great. Anyway, what's on my mind? Not a lot. I love art. I love how we can bring art, like how can art and business merge? And I love a word that came up today, because I was here for training with CHI, was edutainment, which is how like education can cross patterns and blend with entertainment. And how about art? How can entertainment and art and business find common ground? And how can fashion come to play? And how can fashion come to play with education, art and business, entrepreneurship, medicine, engineering? How can different worlds merge into one? I talked to a lot of Leaving Cert students, I talked to a lot of kids, and people are trying to like find what they're going to do next with their lives. What if you didn't have to? What if the future, what's the future of education? Could we study in college humanity, and could that look like a couple of years in this, a couple of years in that, honestly it's not going to work. I'm just thinking futuristically, and the reason why it won't work is like medicine, for example, is a series of steps to become a doctor, and it's a qualified thing at the end, and engineering is a type of thinking and it's a qualified thing at the end, and art is a type of thinking and it's a qualified thing at the end. But maybe how can we, from day one in college, bring an artist to come talk to a doctor, and that's part of their learning experience? And how can an engineer come talk to a doctor, and that's part of their learning experience? And how can a doctor go talk to an artist, and that's a part of their learning experience? And especially business. You have people studying business, taking management roles high up in the world. You've got business people making important calls in the space of medicine, who studied business and never took one lecture in medicine. And how can, this is a scientist, stop talking. How can we peep through holes? How can a businessman make a decision for a doctor if he's never had a medical lecture? And how can an accountant make an Excel spreadsheet that impacts patient flow? And how can a Taoiseach study politics and never take a lecture in medicine, yet be the Minister of Healthcare and not peep through this hole? How can we peep through holes and piece together things? How can different worlds open their doors? Quite literally. So that's what's been on my mind today. I'm not sad or anything, just reflective. Welcome to Reflective Favor. And how can we bring fashion into all of this? And vintage items, and cool little stores like my little vintage store. Because at the heart of fashion is expression. And at the heart of expression is identity. And at the heart of identity is who am I? And at the heart of that is everything. Medicine, business, entrepreneurship, healthcare, innovation. I just feel like we should be way more integrated from like how can we have a lateral thinking across various different worlds to produce solutions that can be faster met if, like, if I went to med school and as part of my medical school training, I had interactions with doctors, well, yes, had interactions with engineers and with artists and with all these different people from different walks of life, would my headspace as a doctor be different? Would I solve healthcare problems differently? Would I interact with patients differently? Because my patients will be doctors, my patients will be engineers, my patients will be artists, my patients will be children who will become all these different. So how can you merge walks of life with identity as the centerpiece? How do you diagnose a patient something and then understand their identity as who they are and what that question means for them, and therefore the options in their management plans, what will they want then, therefore, because of who they are. I just think we are different types of thinkers, and how can we encourage multiple types of thinking, a design mind, an innovative mind, an analytical mind, a creative mind, and just a thought. This is the channel strip, where we channel our energy into learning new things and strip away negative misconceptions. Today, I'd like you to peep through somebody else's box. Okay? I think I gave my editors something to work with there. Teddy would have been a nice friend. I think that I'd like for the Guinness Centre to invite me back and put a camera up there and get me yapping. I love yapping. This is the channel strip.